What is up, friends? It's your boy, Trader Mayne, back with another video. Back with another episode of the Order Book Show. Today's a good one. We got my good friend CryptoFace joining us in a few minutes here. CT YouTube streaming legend. He's been doing it for a very long time. Live trading. Honestly, giga size on YouTube for years. Well before many of the people who are doing crypto streaming. CryptoFace is one of the earliest ones to do it. So going to be going over some charts with him, just kind of some thoughts on the markets in general. But we got a lot to discuss today because really what's going on right now, right? We have the S&P making new all-time highs. We have the Nasdaq breaking up. We have the Dow Jones, the Russell breaking higher, and Bitcoin's at 64K. So Bitcoin is down 50% off its all-time high. Meanwhile, some of these indices are pushing brand new fresh highs, and the market is pricing in a 45% chance that we're going to have rate hikes. So if you are someone who's only been trading crypto over the last 4 to 5 years, you have only traded in a regime where rate cuts have been the discussion. Are we going to cut or are we going to not? Is the money printer going to turn on or is it not? You've never traded during a hiking cycle. So we'll touch on that a little bit today. Obviously, the World Series of Poker happened. Some 22-year-old kid out of, I want to say he's somewhere in the States. I can't remember. The state he's from is eluding me right now, but he won 10 million bucks. 22-year-old kid won the World Series of Poker, won $20 million. So there's a position sizing lesson in that for sure. But yeah, lots of stuff to discuss here. So I think it's going to be very good. I'm looking forward to it. As always, I got Cody monitoring the chat. So if you have any charts that you want to see, stuff like that, Cody's going to be watching out in the chat, taking your suggestions to make sure that we can get to as many of these as we can. So he'll be going through a list of all of those things. But yeah, lots to discuss. Robinhood adding Cashcat. Is this a good thing or is it fucking over? Are we stoked that Vlad and Robinhood are embracing memes, or is this just a sign of things to come? We're gonna get in all of that and more. Spokane, Washington, that's where it was. Thank you. So I'm gonna get in my friend CryptoFace here. CryptoFace, are you ready, bro? All right, we're bringing you in. We can now see you. We can now hear you. He's got the swaggy breakout hat on. Those are limited editions. We don't even make those ones anymore. How are you, bro?
Dude, I'm doing good, man. Doing good. I know, bro. I love this. I love the way these hats feel. These are like a special
It's
like
like suede.
suede. You know what I'm saying? And so I need more. I need more. I use my breakout merch, bro. I use my breakout merch when I go to the airport and stuff all the time. So
Yeah.
still using breakout to this day, man. To this day, bro.
That's my goat. So CryptoFace was one of our very first affiliates with Breakout. He really was instrumental in us getting distribution early on. And he's been using it live trading. And, while I was giving you your little intro there, I think you're one of the OG crypto streamers, because obviously crypto streaming's gotten a lot more popular. We got Thread Guy, Ansom's now doing it. I've been doing it on and off for years, but you've been consistently streaming live trading on YouTube. It's got to be almost a decade now.
Yeah, dude. It's been 8 years, man. And it's crazy. I felt like I was the only one back then, especially like trading with size. But now it's a good thing. There's a lot more people that are doing it, and it's not easy. I am my trades are affected when I live stream. I feel like when I live stream, dude, it's like I can't take profit. It's just like, man, we're here to party and have a good time. So I'm not trading as big as I used to live right now. Sometimes I will, but I think I'm gonna start going big here soon. Last summer, during this time, I was trading big, and I got wrecked real bad. I lost more money in last year's 3 months probably than I ever did. And I'm like, dude, I'm not doing that again. So I'm pulled back a little bit right now. But beginning of this year, dude, I was going ham. Something about the summertime, the dog days of summer, man, they whack me a little bit. At least lately, bro. How are you
It's
doing? How's your trading go?
It's funny because like a lot of people are like screaming at the rooftops, like the bottom's in, like you got to be locked in. And I'm like, honestly, like we haven't really done anything in 2 months. Like we're at the same prices that we were at the start of June. So like I don't know what charts some of these guys are looking at where they're like, oh my God, you're missing out. It's like, okay, I didn't catch Cashcat going from 20 million to 200 million for one day before it fully reversed and fully nuked. And it's funny that you say that about your trades being affected when you're live, because like I've tuned into many of your lives and like guys, he's streaming in front of 1,000 plus people and 8-figure positions, multi 8-figure positions. And you tend to stick to the liquid stuff like Bitcoin, ETH, maybe Solana. And even at those assets that are extremely liquid, the biggest coins in the market, you're noticing, that there's an effect. If you're saying, hey guys, we're coming towards my TP level, all of a sudden everyone on your stream starts dumping it on your head before you can even exit. And that's why I always find it very interesting because there's this new kind of breed of crypto streamers who are streaming the meme coin stuff. They're streaming in the trenches. And that stuff is so illiquid that they're actually just farming their audience because they're effectively saying, hey, I'm going to long this coin. Well, if you got 500 people watching you long a coin that's got $1 million market cap, like that thing can 10x and you can use your followers as exit liquidity. Where you kind of have the reverse problem where your followers are basically using you to get out of their positions because they
Yeah,
know you're waiting for it to hit a spider line or whatever it is. But
yeah.
I'm doing good, man. We're keeping busy. Obviously, Breakout has now launched some TradFi assets, Nasdaq, the S&P, gold, silver, and oil. We got gold coming soon. It's highly requested. What are your thoughts right now, kind of on the market? Like I know you said, you're not trading as much in the summer. Have you participated at all in some of this AI trade that we've seen? Are you trading any TradFi stuff?
So I'm gonna steal something from my father, and it's the parably of the have you ever heard about the breakfast bacon and egg sandwich, the breakfast bacon and an egg sandwich.
Like, yeah, of course,
Um,
yeah.
they say that the chicken was involved, but the pig was committed. And last year, like last summer this time, I was a committed pig and I paid for it. And so I'm always involved. I'm involved this summer. I know my weaknesses pretty good. And so over, the past 8 years, I've learned to kind of protect myself from myself. And for example, like I use like what I call the piggy bank, the piggy strategy, where if I'm in a big trade or I make money, I take a chunk of that and put it somewhere where I have to go through someone in order to get access to it, whether it's a sibling or a girlfriend or whatever. And so if I have to call somebody, I have to come up with a good reason why, if I want access to that big money before I do something stupid. Because if it's on the account, I'm gonna go ham.
Hmm.
Um, but as far as like price action, I know you say everyone's kind of at the rooftops, screaming at us the bottom, and you kind of don't think so. I kind of do think that we have bottomed. And when I say
Okay.
that, I mean like maybe we can revisit kind of where we've been at. I can pull up some stuff if you want to take a look
Yeah, hey,
here.
I'm gonna pull up your chart here.
Okay, cool. Let me know when we're able to see everything. Are we able to see everything?
Yeah, we
Yeah.
got you.
Okay, cool. So, you know how the bear markets tend to last basically 365 days, or pretty much on the dot, pretty much close. This yellow line is the 2017, 2018. The blue line right here is 2021, 2022. And we kind of see some similarities where the price action goes sideways and then breaks down. But each time the bottom is a little bit it's a little bit less of a bigger percentage, at least these last few times. You
Yeah.
know, we might go down 90%, the next cycle's 75%, maybe the next cycle 55%. So I think there's a case to be made where like, okay, if this line maybe breaks down, I think it could float, pretty darn close to where it's already at. And it's I feel like overall the people that are still here, we have gotten smarter. Um, where like, we didn't really see the bottoms before. Like the last bottoms, I thought when we were at 6K, I thought we were going down to three. And
Hmm.
so I think right now, and I can only speak for myself, me personally, I am DCAing into Bitcoin and altcoin positions. If I'm wrong and Bitcoin goes to 40K, in one leg, it's like, oh, whoop-de-doo. I'm still gonna be buying. But if there's not another leg, I don't want to miss out. And so I think, these dog days of summer, it's like, is there really a better time to start buying? You know what I'm saying? Like we've come down for
Yeah,
quite a long time.
when everyone's bored, right? That's when it catches people off guard. I think I've been preaching the same thing here. Like I kind of told everyone like, my bottoming range was like 40 to 60K. Like that's kind of where I thought. Whereas like last cycle, I thought it could be anywhere between like 10 and 30K. So that means you don't have to wait till it hits 10K. You just start buying. The idea is like you just want to be close. Like if we're going to get even, a modest bull run and Bitcoin goes, maybe a little bit past all-time highs, even at these price levels, that's a double. That's
Yeah.
who's going to complain with that? So we've been in the same vein here. We've been slowly accumulating, and if it goes lower, it's just an opportunity to buy more. I think from a price perspective, I totally agree. Like we're getting kind of less aggressive bear markets, just like we're getting less aggressive bull markets, right? Like Bitcoin went from 70K last all-time high. This one was 125. That's a lot less than 20K to 70K. So we're kind of seeing that decreasing volatility in both directions, right? On the way up and also on the way down. And I completely agree. It's a very good idea to start slowly averaging in. I think we're at discounted prices. And if they go down lower, you know, that's when you kind of continue to add and then hopefully get as much exposure as you can the lower it goes. I personally like a weekly market structure break for confirmation. So last cycle at the bottom, we really knew the bottom was in once we kind of had that weekly close in like January of 2023. We got that weekly close kind of above the level. Your Heineken Ashi like basically started to go green right before there. Not that bottom, the more recent one. Yeah, so right at January 16th, 2023, that week, we got a weekly close above the prior kind of market structure lower high. That to me was like, okay, now the bottom's for sure in. So any money that I had sitting waiting for 10K, I just deployed it there, right? Because I
Yeah.
wanted to have some dry powder for the lows, but you got to be prepared. If it doesn't go there, how do you get in? Um, do you have a strategy for that? Is there a signal, something you look for where you're like, okay, I don't think it's going anymore. Any other dry powder I got, I'm unloading it here.
Um, you know, I'm always like checking the charts and stuff. I mean, I got like what? I got the weekly. I have my own indicators, what I'm saying, like market cipher, obviously, and I don't need to go in like a whole thing about it. But what I will say is like the weekly and the 2 week can be a little bit lagging. But for example, like this is the 2 week, and this green and red wave is a money flow. And when we go into the red, you're supposed to buy in the red. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? And it doesn't stay in the red for that long. So there's plenty of meat on this bone, plus momentum. And also, you might not even know what these green dots are on the screen, but every single one's pretty much close to the bottom. And so I feel like I've been uh, crucified for the previous bottom cycles. And so I'm like, dude, I don't care if I'm just close, especially where the price is at right now. Like, who cares if I think the bottom is around 60K and it goes to 45? Like, that's close enough for me. So, man, I'm firing, bro. I'm DCing. Momentum's picking up. it looks similar. This momentum wave right here, the blue wave, we have a higher low right there. Boom, it takes off. We have a higher low right here, hoping it takes off. Um, even like the 200-day moving average, I'm pretty sure I had that somewhere here. We're pretty close to that, and things kind of line up. I do think the uh resistance of where we're at right now, this line right here, I can try to get a prettier chart for you, but whatever. Like this line right here, this pink line,
Hmm.
it was the bottom on August 24th. If you go back, it was a resistance in December 2023. If you go back, nothing really there, but it was the top at in 2019. And so I think where we're at right now is an important resistance. And in the past, when we've broken through it, it's pumped. And I'm pretty sure the Clarity Act, aren't they maybe voting on it tomorrow? So
Yeah, yeah,
to be honest,
it's
I'm taking a shot, bro. I'm taking a shot. If anything, you know what, dude? This might be a good time to do a straddle trade. Maybe if the Clarity Act if it doesn't pass, maybe it'll dump, maybe it will be that one leg down. So I'd almost be comfortable with entering along with a safe stop and entering a short with a safe stop and doing a little straddle on Bitcoin. You know what I'm saying?
I don't actually hate the idea. I mean, the environment for Bitcoin to go up is there because we have equities ripping, right? I mean, we're at all-time high on the S&P. I think one of the things that's most different for crypto traders right now is if you only started trading in the last like 5 years, you've only been accustomed to us either having no rate cuts or rate cuts. Like it's been a very bullish environment in that sense where it's Jerome Powell, turn on the money printer. We all know the memes. Well, now we had rate hikes kind of on the horizon. I think it's
Do
over
you think they're gonna hike?
45%.
Do you think he's gonna hike it? Like,
I,
I
I
feel like
think
we
I think
go
they
ahead, go ahead, go
might.
ahead.
I think they might going into midterms, bro. They cut rates going into the election. I feel like it would be
Oh,
quite a kind of symmetry if they then raise rates going into the midterms. I know Trump has probably been texting and blowing Warsh up, being like, "You motherfucker, like you better not hike rates." But I do think that it's interesting because basically since October 10th, crypto hasn't cared what equities are doing, right?
when
Like
was the last rate hike? When was I didn't mean to cut you off.
years
I'm
ago,
sorry.
years ago. Cody can check that for us, but it's been a
Let me see.
long time, I think, since they've raised rates.
I didn't mean to cut you off, bro. What were you saying
Chicken's too
about in October, dude?
expensive.
My bad.
Definite hikes coming. I mean, yeah. Listen, so I like I know you're because we text all the time. I know you've been taking part in some of this equity stuff. Like, how do you feel about the AI trade? Do you think it's over now that Leopold's blown up? I mean, Ken Griffin basically came in and
Ken
shot him in the
Griffin is
back of the
my
head.
man. I'll take a New York older experienced killer over I'm not hating on Leopold. I'm not hating
Dude,
on
he's
him.
24. Like, he'll be back.
Good for him. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Good for him. But man, these San Francisco tech guys, man, they really love dude, the market corrects everybody. And maybe the Leopold kid is right with AI in the future and everything, obviously. But man, it's like the market will still humble you. I'm pretty sure he's still positive. His
Yeah.
fund is still positive, I think, overall. But I have to admit, my fangs come out a little bit when these type of stories happen. It's like, yeah, man, like we're still like, a dude can still come in, a fund can still come in and do what they want sometimes. I like that. I like it.
Dude,
Um,
it's the best.
as far as like where we're at now, I gotta be honest, dude, I'm kind of bullish right now.
On
This is
stocks. I am
Palantir.
too.
Yeah, yeah, this is Palantir right here. So we have money flow not only coming up, this is on the 2 day, but something else that's super important to me is the RSI. So these are two different RSIs. The purple one is the stochastic RSI, and the other line, the way I do it is it's color coded. When it's green, if it goes from about to oversold, and it goes from green to red. So what I've realized is when both of these RSI lines are close together, it's the move is stronger. And when they're farther apart, if it's going up, like the price will still go up, but it's less likely to hold. And so the RSIs have been gaining good strength here on Palantir and a bunch of other stuff. And so, man, I think we could see a little dog day summer run here, man, on Palantir and pretty much damn near everything else. You know
Yeah,
what I'm
I
saying?
think
I
all
think
the
we've shed enough.
indices
I think we shed.
I think all the indices look good for another leg higher. Like I think the music, I think the music is slowed down, but I don't think it's stopping yet. Like the party's not over. We had this huge wipeout in all of these AI stocks, like massive leverage reset. Half of Korea got annihilated. So those are the true degens. Shout out to our Korean fans.
Yeah.
But yeah, I agree. I think equities look really good, and I just want Bitcoin to participate in some of the upside. Like if we're at 7,700 on the S&P and Bitcoin is trading like 10% off the low. Back in the day, like the S&P is trading like this, Bitcoin would be up, double-digit percentages in a single day. So it kind of just feels like we're all waiting for this just to happen, this, avalanche to begin. I'm still a little hesitant on crypto, and I agree with you. I think there's a world where we see another low or like a retest of the lows. But in general, I do think crypto is close to its bottom from a time perspective, a price perspective. I want to ask you about a friend of yours. You're a friend of Ben, right? Ben Cohen.
Yeah, I mean, we're acquaintances.
Yeah. So
I don't talk to him regular, but I've been to his parties and we've exchanged kind words.
you follow his stuff, right? I'm a big fan of Ben. I think he's very systematic. I love the way he thinks. I love the way he posts. He sticks to his guns. And I love the way that he dunks on people who make fun of him. And then he
Me
comes
too.
back 3 months later and he's like, I fucking told you so. But he does it in a very respectful way. He is of the belief that we're kind of in this little summer rally that we got last bear market before another low. He's a 4-year cycle believer. So he kind of thinks we're, one more move up and then one more down. And this is just kind of a counter trend balance. Have you seen his post about that where he still thinks it's kind of like October, end of the year bottom?
So he's unfortunately fallen out of my algorithm, I think, in the past few weeks. I haven't seen
Fucking Nikita,
his
bro.
post lately. And dude, that drives me insane when that happens. I have a handful of guys that traders I like to, see what they're doing, and then they just disappear. And I'm like, did they get wrecked? And then I have to search. I'm like, oh, okay, good. They're still alive and doing like everything they should be. So I don't really know what he's saying right now, but with what you said, um, totally makes sense. And I'm a believer in the 4-year cycle. But does everything have to happen to the T in order for it to exist? I don't think so. Like if we don't have one more leg down, and you ask me, a year from now, and it starts pumping in October or November, December, I'm going to say, yeah, the 4-year cycle is still real. Like just because it didn't, one little thing wasn't exactly on the exact month doesn't mean it's not dead. But yeah, it totally makes sense. I mean, if we just look at what is this? Okay, back on the weekly, the RSIs, just like this, creeping with the money flow coming down, we're pretty much in the same spot, pretty much in a very similar spot where it's like, okay, we're just
Mm-hmm.
in that, we're in the trope, we're in the trenches. And so, man, easily, we could have something happen tomorrow. Clarity Act gets shut down, or there's a no, and it goes boom, and so here's what I will say, dude. I will say I'm bringing up this heat map because there's a couple things going on right now that I've never seen before in my experience. One of them being really the derivative liquidity and the amount of humans versus the amount of market makers and bots. So this is the heat map on Bitcoin right now. And what I've never, at least I don't recall ever seeing in my 8 years doing this, is that everything is copy and pasted. It looks like Star Wars, like Imperial Chinese market making starships are just there's one, two, three, four, five, six of them, even down to the line. This line right here, that line right
Oh,
there,
it's
that line right
fully
there.
inverted. It's like a mirror.
Dude, it is completely there is no human money. There's not even a blip of, hey, this is me and Trader Mayne and whoever else. This is our, liquidation point right here. Everyone is gone. That's why exchanges are going belly up. At least like, some of the smaller ones. So I think one of the indications for me of when, the bull run's gonna start coming back is when I start to see some
Humans.
TIE fighters
Yeah.
come into the picture and some human money come in where it's not just the Imperial starships. It's okay, now there's humans playing around again. So that's just something I found
We
out.
had a we actually had an interesting post we went over on our last stream, where it was I wanted to say that it was like this is like the lowest crypto trading activity we've had in a very long time. And I think part of that is, the doldrums of the summer and the bear market, but part of it as well is I think a lot of retail participants are like, why the hell am I trading Bitcoin when I can go and trade a perp of every company on the planet? Like, you can trade everything now. Everything's becoming a perp. You can trade oil and gold and single name stocks and indices 24/7, 365 on Hyperliquid. So I think that's going to have an effect on crypto too. Just like there's more places where people can go to get volatility that aren't, crypto, which used to be the place to go.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, dude, I pulled back on options. I mean, you saw some of the stuff I was selling at the beginning of the year. Like the oil, the gold plays, the copper. There was massive, nice moves, and all over the place. And so I think that's maybe hopefully kind of coming back a little bit. Have you been following the DTCC thing at all? Did you read up on that?
A little
Uh,
bit, a little bit.
okay. And so I think that's important, where every single settlement of every single type of trade, in on the New York Stock Exchange and the Chicago Mercantile, whether it's options, futures, or just buying and selling stocks, is now going to be settled
Yes.
on blockchains, and they've named a couple that they're going to use. Um, and that officially starts in October with over 50 firms. They're testing it now. There's firms that are selling it right now. And so I think that's a big deal. And yeah, dude, I mean, they're doing sharded uh stocks right now. You can buy shards of a stock that's $500, but if you don't have $500 for the full share, you can get 20 bucks worth of it. So I think the whole tokenization thing, I think it's really starting to kind of settle in mainstream. So maybe we won't have the excitement, but the excitement comes when the price starts going up. There's no doubt
Totally. I mean,
about
I
it.
think the best narrative is always number go up, right? But I think it's very interesting. Like, all these people talk about, oh, like we want meme coins and retail and all this stuff. I'm like, dude, there's stuff like the DTCC, like the fact that we have perps on everything. These to me are the most exciting, cool things about crypto. It's not meme coins. It's not all this other stuff that people want to be like, hey, they're like, oh, I need to have my meme coin get, added to wherever I need the mainstream influencers. I'm like, dude, like the traditional financial systems are going on chain. They're using blockchains. They're setting up perps for everything. That to me was kind of always really the end goal is like, this is a better technology. And I do think we're seeing that coming, which is, um, you know, great news. So I know you're like an active trader. Obviously, you mentioned you're buying some Bitcoin and stuff. You think we're near the bottom. Are there any, like, do you hold stocks long term too? Or are you just in and out? Like, I know you mentioned Palantir. Like, are there any stocks that you're like, yo, I'm a big fan of this company and I'm just looking to accumulate it?
Yeah, and so actually on July 16th, I did a big position entry with about 20 different positions. Um in fact, I could name them for you. Let me actually pull this up real quick. Yeah, I mean I do it all. And of course I hold some, but uh hang on here. Okay. I got some right here. So BKNG, this is one I really like on the weekly. The RSIs are charging up really good on this one. Momentum, I say the gates are open. Momentum is still opened up on this one. Money flow coming up as well. So I like BKNG. That is one. Let me see here. Um hang on, let me pull up my list here. Palantir was on there. I got 20. Meta was one. I think I'm down on that one a little bit. Berkshire Hathaway, I got some of that. You know what I did, bro? Is I took 20 diversified companies and did an even spread on each one. I didn't weigh it. And so far, that's what's paid off for me. If you ask like AI to do it for you, it, will weigh AI stuff heavier than, something else. And, maybe that works out, but the prices have just come up too much on a lot of like technology stuff for me to comfortably like buy in weightedly. So I'm right now, I think diversifying evenly, that's what I like to do. But let me actually pull up the list because I'm having a brain fart of 20 different things that I put in. And what about
There's
you,
some
bro? What about
there's some stuff you sent me a while ago that I didn't end up actioning on that I wish I did because it all fucking ripped. Um, but like
which ones? Which ones were you talking about?
this went back a while ago. There was a few like I think they were like it was like a indice or an ETF. There's a few ETFs.
Yeah.
This was
So
like early in the AI trade.
so dude, I made a video about those and I got a strike for it. And
Oh,
so I
really?
had to take it down. So there's a couple words, um, specifically the Y word. It starts with YI, ends with LD. Um, yeah, and you know what though, dude? I'm glad you didn't take those positions because they've pulled back actually a little bit. They were going up for a while, but they pulled back a little bit. Um, and yeah, I mean, they if it's a good time to buy, it's good to buy option indices, ETFs, if you think the price is going to go up for 3 years, that pay dividends. I'm trying to choose my words wisely
I
here.
understand. Yes.
But yeah, dude. I mean, I've sent you good ones. I've sent you bad ones too. There was a couple times I'm like, damn, man, I'm like a top signal for Maine, but
I
I've
mean,
sent you some
that's
good
the
ones too.
fucking game, bro. Like I told my brother to sell his Micron like right before it doubled because it had gone up so much already and he's like, "What do you think about this?" I'm like, "Dude, I don't know. You're up like 100x. Like you should probably take some profit." And I was at like $400 and then literally
Yeah,
immediately after it went to like 1,000 and he's like, "What the fuck?" I'm like, "I'm
yeah,
sorry. Like what do you want me to do, dude? Like that's trading. Like it is what it is." That's why I'm always very hesitant to give people like, single name calls and stuff like that. Cause I'm like, dude, I'm totally comfortable losing my money. The last thing I want to do is have someone like follow me and then they put in more than they're willing to lose.
oh yeah.
And then they're complaining to you next time they see you. It's like, dude, that's the fucking game. It's one of the worst
What
things
I
about like being known as a traitor to your friends.
oh god, oh yeah, I know, dude. And you know what else I'll say too is right now I've only had my successful and smart friends steadily reaching out to me like maybe two a week, like, hey, what do you think is going on with crypto now? Which I think is a good sign. It's when all your dumb friends start messaging you where it's like, damn, maybe I should have got in a little bit earlier than what they're saying now. Um, I was gonna say, like, if you're a meme coin person and you're still trying to like scratch that itch has been scratchable all bear market long. What I mean is, at least on my Chinese exchanges that I follow, there have been daily, daily. There's typically like one or two or three um, altcoins that are flatlined and dead, and then just they take off for 2 or 3 days, and then they get rugged, in one or two candles. And so my technique, and I've been dabbling in it. I've just been involved. I haven't been like I've been like the chicken, not the pig, because there's not much liquidity you can get out of it. But I have a couple here. This is Sky AI. I know nothing about it. Could be a scam for all I know. But it was why it's dead, and all of a sudden out of nowhere, boom, it starts taking off. And typically it's like, okay, after a few days, that's when you want to get out before it drops. And I mean, there's so many that have followed that have been doing this. I've forgotten. MUSDT is one I can think of actually off the top of my head. This one, let me see here. Let me see here. Um, this one was going up
Interesting.
real good. Dang, this wasn't a thing. I don't think this was the one I was thinking of. But while I'm saying is there's Chinese altcoins on every exchange, and what I've been doing is I've been scanning and looking if an altcoin is up like 20%, I go and see if it basically is starting to look like this. You know what I mean? And then really you're just playing musical chairs and getting out, and you're rarely going to get out, at the perfect time. But we're loaded with altcoins that are flat. They start pumping for a few days and then the rug gets pulled. So there's still plenty of meme coin action out there for people if
Yeah,
they want to get
it's
some.
a rotation game, right? Like, because these things go up, and you have. I think the problem that people have with altcoins now is they're all trying to be like Murad, where they're like, I'm gonna hold this coin forever. Um, that's not how altcoins trade anymore. Like Pump Fund, I think changed the like personality type of
Yeah.
altcoin traders, where now it's like rotation, rotation, rotation. Something goes up like 2x, like people are selling, and it's like a hot ball of money, and they're looking for the next thing. If you have apps like FOMO and you track some of the bigger guys on there, like the average hold time for these guys is like days. No one's holding anything for a week, right? So if you look at some of these charts, you're like, well, this thing rugged. It's like, yeah, it went up 300% and then it rugged. So it's like a game of hot potato. I think these
Have you
altcoins
ever
now.
made money like have you ever like made good money on some meme coin stuff
So
before?
I did very well on like Dogecoin and Pepe back in the
Yeah.
day. Um, I have two very famous incidences of fumbling the bag. The first one, I owned like 1% of PopCat, if you remember that one from last
Oh yeah.
cycle.
Yeah.
And I sold it for like, you know, not an insignificant amount of money, but like, low six figures. At the top, it would have been worth, millions, if not eight figures. And then quite famously, I have this peanut story that there's a guy on a YouTube who runs a show. It's called like the Money Guys Show. It's actually quite big. And someone's like, dude, they just talked about you on the show and you're in the thumbnail. Cause I had kind of, black boxed this in my memory. But Peanut, I had the Peanut the Squirrel, if you remember that one that got added to Binance.
Yeah.
I sold this thing literally days before it got added to Binance and went from 0 to 2 billion. And the peanut that I was holding would have been worth like $40 million. Of course,
Oh my god.
I wouldn't have held it obviously that long, but I think I quite literally put in like 600 bucks or like $1,000 and sold it for like 600. So I actually lost money.
Yeah.
And then like within a couple of days, this thing got added to Binance, crime occurred, and everyone likes to remind me of it every once in a while. But I've just never been a meme coin guy, dude. Like I like to trade Bitcoin, I like to trade ETH, I like to trade Sol, and honestly, I haven't traded a ton lately. I had a very
What?
difficult
Because you
time.
got married and you're gay now? Sheesh, man, you
Literally,
gotta get
bro.
you get married and you stop trading. That's what's
Dude, you
going
get
on with you,
married,
dog.
you start a company, and then you become gay, all in that order. And it's just funny. Like, I just don't have the same, like, itch to, like, be grinding out the charts nearly as much as I used to. So
Yeah.
I like to do the YouTube. I take trades when they're obvious, but mostly swing trades. And yeah, I got a wife I got to pay attention to. I got a dog and I got a business I'm running.
Right.
So yeah, basically I'm gay. The chat's loving that one.
Yeah.
Basically I'm gay now. So
It's okay.
I'll still
It's
try
okay.
and hit the plays when I think there's big obvious ones. But I hope after this cycle that I ride off into the sunset. I told myself after this most recent one I was going to be done, but then I started Breakout. So now I'm like, okay, once I'm done with Breakout, I'm done with Kraken, my earnout's done. I might fade away into existence, into irrelevancy. Sorry, have a couple of kids and just like go live on my farm. Fuck
Dude, I will
society.
say that when I think of like who's the patron saint of the responsible trader that I strive to be, you, bro, are not the one. No, I'm just kidding. I think of you, bro. I think of Mayne. I think the importance of being able to say no, like I'm not gonna force myself into something, and just like the real life altering trades for the better are the ones that come to you. My
Hmm.
most recent one was gold. Just this last, little gold, little pump. And I didn't really even go too hard in it. I should have gone harder. Um, Dude, you know what bag I fumbled? Just to go back to that, was Zcash, bro.
Oh
I
my
was
God,
the
bro.
biggest Zcash guy. You could go back to my YouTube. I used to mine Zcash. I had so much Zcash. It was my favorite shit token. And bro, I sold at like $30 weeks before it took off, dude. And I don't even want to, I would have, man, I'm
Just
telling you,
memory
man,
hold
that one
that, bro.
stung me real bad,
Yeah,
real
memory hold
bad. That
that.
one stung me.
Memory hold
I
that. I had
forgot
a
we were
buddy who
talking.
messaged me about Zcash, not the first pump, but the second one when it like bottomed around 200. He's like, dude, this thing's gonna go again. And I'm like, fuck. Didn't buy any. I faded him on XRP as well, and right before XRP fucking ripped. That's one of the worst things about crypto,
That
dude.
one
Is
too, bro. XRP, man. I told a business partner of mine, he's like, I'm buying XRP. He goes, I want to buy X amount more. I'm like, dude, XRP sucks, bro.
I
They sell
know.
so much of it. Like that thing's not gonna do. Literally just weeks later, man, that thing took off. That's another L I took for a
Quadrupled.
personal friend. Sorry to
Dude,
interrupt you.
XRP, I said the same thing. I had a buddy. He's like, "What do you think about XRP?" I'm like, I don't understand why people love it. It's the most retarded coin ever. It's not going to replace the global financial system." And then it went from like 50 cents to $4 in like 2 weeks. He's like, "What the fuck, man?" I was like, "I'm sorry." But
Yep.
that's their fault for listening. I,
Zcash doesn't look too shabby right
I
now, at
like
least
Zcash
on
for
the
a
time
long
frame
here,
too.
bro. I really do. I drew it out last stream. I think it's kind of like, we got a nice target up at like $600. If Bitcoin can go, I think this thing can put in another high here.
Yeah, I am starting to buy. I'm gonna do my, little 100K altcoin portfolio. Although I think it's gonna be kind of tough to pick altcoins this time because you don't know which one's just gonna rug out of nowhere. More than I feel like than before.
Oh, there's
And
just so
I don't
many
know,
more
maybe some.
coins. It's insane.
What'd you say? I'm sorry, I didn't hear you.
There's so many more coins now. It's so much harder to select. Do you like Hyperliquid?
I do. I do like Hyperliquid. I've actually been trading. I really like trading it. Really like trading it. It slowed down when Velvet came out. Hang on. Velvet, I think, is some uh BS UI layer over it, and it pulled a lot of the liquidity. This move right here, man. When was this? This was in June. So I'm pretty sure that when this was popping off, uh hypes the amount of liquidity in action and hype slowed down a little bit as well. Dude, this was sick. I even posted this on Twitter. I'm like, man, before that happened, I was like, man, this thing looks like it's gonna pop off, man. And it did. That was awesome. Then it was horrible. It was horrible after that. But hype, I think hype's at like a little potential bottom right now. Let me see here. Uh yeah, I mean, it looks let's see here.
I mean, it
It
made
might
a
be
new
coming up a little.
all-time high in a bear market. Like that's
Yeah,
pretty
dude.
rare.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that's pretty good. Yeah, I mean, RSI's picking up a little bit. Looks like money flow's coming up a little bit. I do. I like hype. Yeah, RSI's look good. Yeah, hype's definitely going in. Definitely makes the altcoin
To
list
me, it's like
100%.
it's like the new BNB, right? Because BNB used to be like the Binance machine. So you just knew CZ was going to do whatever you had to do to make sure BNB goes up. Hype has, like ultimately one of the most profitable businesses in all of crypto, and they use the money they make to buy back the token.
They got to be
So
pumping them charts.
I'm like, okay, like this is a coin I wanna own.
Yeah. I'm pretty excited I don't really get excited about anything. I don't get excited about like business deals. I always there's two things that get me excited, and that's like a wad of cash and a nice piece of you know what that rhymes with it. But I am excited again about investing in crypto and kind of just investing in the markets overall right now. I feel like I've dodged the big swinging axe that I didn't dodge last year, and I'm low key kind of proud of myself because for surviving right now. It's tough out there, man. Life is tough, man. And I don't know. I'm not trying to get all deep, but I'm just very thankful. I'm very thankful that I'm in the position I'm in, and I can do this for a living, and take care of friends and family, and hopefully there's more people, that follow us and participate that are able to just lift themselves into a better life because the opportunities are there. The opportunities show up, but you just don't want to be bashing your head in every single day. Like, wait for the good ones to come. Get a couple setups, a couple patterns, or a couple indicators that turn into a couple, whatever you're looking for. Figure out 4 or 5 things that you're looking for and wait for it. You got to wait for it to come to you, man. Then you hammer it.
I think this is very good advice because I try and tell people all the time, like one of the biggest things that causes you to be, not get adversely selected in crypto is just survival. Knowing when to sit out and just wait. And if you've been able to survive the last 8 to 12 months, we're now at that point in time where it does start all of a sudden looking a little bit more attractive, looking a little bit more interesting. The risk reward is skewed in a much better, more favorable direction down here. And I think that's part of the game, right? Like the way to make it in crypto isn't necessarily buying the meme coin that goes up 100x. It's just not dying
Right.
and
Right.
being alive and having some dry powder to take advantage when those opportunities come, because they do come, and there are life changing opportunities in these markets still. And as we get deeper into the bear market, closer to the bottom already potentially being in, now's when it is time to get excited to look into things again and say, okay, hey, I think crypto's actually in a good place. And I also am like a firm believer that this is like from a macro perspective, this is like the best crypto's been in a very long time. Like with things like the Clarity Act, everything going on chain, everything becoming a perp. Like crypto has never been more mainstream, and
Right.
that's exciting and it feels
Yeah.
cool. I used to tell people I was in crypto and they think I'm like fucking insane. And now it's like when you talk about being in crypto, it's like, yay, we're actually in this kind of bleeding edge tech finance category that we used to always dream of it being, as opposed to, a thing that we would use to buy, drugs and alcohol and fireworks on the Silk Road way
Right.
back in the day. It's come a very long way. So, do you have some advice for like life changing and wife changing opportunities all around? Um, uh,
Well,
Listen, I mean,
uh,
I definitely think it's we're all gonna be in. If you still have a girlfriend right now, when Bitcoin makes a new all-time high, you're gonna have many, many girlfriends. Okay, you're gonna be doing very, very good. I used to have this line. I called it the gay line. This was last bear market. I was like, when we're below 30K, we're
can
all
you show
gay.
us what that looks like? Can you
Yeah,
can you pull up that chart, sir?
the gay line here. I'll see if I can find the gay line. Let me pull on my chart here. Uh, Main screen. There we go. So the gay line, for those of you that have been OG followers of the streams, when we were trading back in this last bear market, I'd drawn out, or this last bull run, really, I'd drawn out the 30K gay line. Everyone knows. Because it was basically this like price floor that we had here. And the moment we got above it, right, we ripped, we came back to the gay line. Everyone remained straight for a little while longer. But the moment we got under 30K, we were all gay. And we
Yeah.
remained gay for a long time. Honestly, there's a couple years where there was a lot of, penis involved. But
Yeah.
once we got back above the gay line, things got good again. Everyone got girlfriends now. I kind of think we might be able to update the gay line to
Yeah.
60K
We're
now.
right there. We're right there. Yep.
60K might be the new gay line. Like as long as we're above 60K, that's okay. Below 60K, then you are gay.
Yeah.
You know, we just want to minimize the amount of time we spend under the gay line. So this, by the way, you don't get this type of TA and this level of skill until you've been doing this for a very long time, guys. To be able to tell where the gay line is, this has taken me years to perfect. And I think I'm the first person to coin it. So I think officially on this stream, we are updating the gay line from 30K to 60K. 60K is the new gay line. So that's where I want to see us kind of hold above. Could we have a little, you know, snappy deviation below? Yes. But I would want it to look kind of something like this. I wouldn't want it to be a significant amount of time. Maybe just a little wash there. But ultimately, I think there's a lot of similarities between, you know, the old gay line and the new.
For sure. For sure. You were asking about, I don't know, some grandiose, more big advice.
So
you know what I will say this too?
You've been doing this a long time, right? And you survived bull markets and bear markets. And what is like the one thing that you think has allowed you to stay in the game this long? And so I'll give you my example, and maybe that'll help you with your answer. So this is actually something that you already mentioned with the piggy bank method. Something that has saved me, I think, from potentially blowing up or at least losing a lot of my money is I no longer trade with the vast majority of my money on exchange. I used to have a large amount of my portfolio on exchange, and I was using it to leverage trade. Now, I wasn't necessarily using all the money, but I had cross leverage and I had all the money there, which means even if I wasn't using it, I had access to it. I had the ability to re-up. I took a bad loss. I could just say, fuck it, I'm going to transfer some more money over to the derivatives and just start trading again. So what I've done over recent years is now I have maybe 100K, maybe it's $250,000. That's all that's in the entire account. And I either turn that into more money and then withdraw it, or if it goes to zero, I punish myself and I don't allow myself just to immediately redeposit. And I have safeguards. I can't just load it back up. I got to go talk to someone. You know, I got to go say, hey, you know, it's like you're at the casino and you're heading back to the ATM. You got to have that walk of shame and that risk manager. So that's something that I've done that I think is materially helped my trading just in terms of decision making and my ability to survive. So when you go on those bad runs, because we all do, you know, you're not eating shit and blowing up your entire account.
Yeah, man. Rich men go broke every day. And I can't think of a faster way to take yourself out than perp trading. I know a couple guys, I'm sure you do too. I know guys that had hundreds of millions of dollars and they took themselves out by perp trading and chasing wins. Um, and yeah, I would say the piggy bank strategy, um, that has probably what has saved me from myself and going crazy on a live stream. Um, yeah, rich men go broke every day, man.
Well, Charlie Munger, right? Leverage, liquor, and ladies. That's what will kill you. And I think that that's pretty accurate.
Yeah. You know, I think that if the Bible was written, you know, in modern day, I believe the Bible says that it says fear nothing and like, you know, face your fears, but when it comes to, you know, lust for the women, run away. I'm pretty sure if perp trading was a part of the life back then, that would be the second thing that was, you know, in the Bible or the Quran or whatever you believe in to run away from if it's not going good.
Well, I mean, look what just happened to Leopold. I mean, this guy arguably was 100% correct about the AI trade. He executed on it with size. He made billions of dollars. And the thing that blew him up was leverage. Only 4x leverage, by the way, whereas most crypto traders are using 100x. You know, and they're using 100x on random bullshit that's not nearly as, you know, real as trading some of these stocks that Leopold was trading. I think leverage kills. I think most people don't understand how to use it at all. And I think a lot
Yeah.
of people confuse their ability to trade with a bull market. A lot of guys
Yeah.
get into crypto when the market's going up and they get rewarded for buying every dip. And they're like, oh, dude, every time it goes down, I
Right.
just buy. And then in 4 days, I'm up.
Yeah.
And then the moment that the dip keeps dipping, you know, they give back, you know, all that you make. My biggest losses always come after big wins. It's not like
Yes.
a losing streak and then I blow up. I'm like on a heater and then
Yes.
I give back a chunk. I went to Bali with my wife for like a month. And right before this trip, it's right here. I'm trading like a god. I'm I'm up a lot of money, like millions of dollars in the matter of like, you know, 6 weeks. And then I gave back 2/3 of what I made on this little pullback here because I
Yep.
was cocky. I was like, I'm just going to keep longing. And I was increasing my size as we went. And then I specifically remember I longed Dogecoin with like, you know, way more size than I should have. And I took a loss. And then I'm like, okay, well, let me just, you know, long something else here, make that loss back. Then I'm out, ate shit again. So I ran up an account crazy, gave back 2/3 of it in like 1 week, and then had to go pretend to enjoy my vacation with my wife.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, you know what? A buddy of mine, just like a week ago, he told me, he goes, you know what I've been doing? He goes, after every successful trade or bad trade that I have, he sets a timer for an hour. He goes, I set a timer for an hour and I walk away, do anything but look at a chart for an hour. And that resets him. You know, man, I can't count how many times I've took profit on a trade and then just full, you know, aped back in like a total dweeb and paid for it. I mean, your P&L chart typically goes up and down. You know what I'm
Yes.
saying? It's like, okay, well now I'm up, so I got to do something different because I'm probably about to go down. So how do I stop it from going down and having my P&L chart look like a wave pool? So I started doing that recently too. After a trade, I'm gonna set the timer and walk away. Yep.
Yeah, I mean, there's just like things that I think you have to learn by doing. I think a lot of people watch people online, they learn videos, they read stuff on Twitter, but the skill that they're missing is like they're not actually in the arena, like
Yeah.
just getting into trades and making mistakes and fucking up. Like, how long did it take you before you even were consistently making money?
Boy, I tell you, I with Bitcoin, I kind of got lucky, dog. I've always from the get-go, something about Bitcoin, I've always been able to trade it successfully. I had success with Bitcoin early. Um, could I say the same R- for Ethereum and Ripple? Absolutely not. In fact, I plugged in my trade history into this huge AI kind of platform that goes through all your trades and analyzes you and breaks a lot of stuff down. And you know what it told me? It said, stop trading Ethereum. And I was like, man, I know that shit is for real because boy, that's the truth. When it comes to like the stock market and stuff and standard markets, I found man, after going through the trenches in crypto, I dare I say it, it's kind of like taking candy from a baby, where really your own enemy is just yourself. The opportunities show up, and there's a lot more liquidity backing up your signals. And so I've been successful with you know, my Fidelity, my E-Trade account. Uh, but as far as, you know, everything else, I've been good with Bitcoin basically since the beginning. I can't say the same for altcoins. You know, I have my wins and have my losses. So I try to stick with Bitcoin for the most part. And once in
Yeah,
a while, like hype and stuff, you
I
know, Pepe,
was
I do get on that too.
I was like a couple years of like, you know, figuring it out. Like I would make some money and then I would lose some money and then I'd, you know, be like, okay, I've got this all figured out. Then I get smacked in the face before I really kind of had a system that worked consistently. Funny what you say about, um, the AI thing, because like I use this app called TradeZella right now to just journal my trades that I take in Discord, and it gave me a similar recommendation, but it said stop trading on the weekend. It said every time you
Yes.
trade on the weekend, you lose money basically. It's like you're really,
Oh
really
man.
good all week, and then any trades you take on the weekend, like let's say my hit rate is like 50%, on the weekend it's like 20. And it's
Yeah.
like you're just asking to fucking get your ass handed to you. And sometimes if you don't keep the data, which most people don't at all, um, you don't even know that there might be these leaks in your game that you're not even aware of. You're just like, well, I just made money trading ETH, so I'm going to continue trading it. It's like, well, actually, if you look over your last 1,000 ETH trades, you're like down huge. So
Man, I've blown accounts from Ethereum, and so
yeah,
I know when it spit that back at me, I was like, "Damn, this thing's right." Like, man, it's totally right. You know what another thing is too that is locking the trade in. Shout out to Crypto Crank, locking it in. You know,
yeah.
he's a gentleman on Twitter. His name's Crypto Crank, and I'm just going to shout him out here because he's a family man. He's a stud. He's got 3 kids that do jujitsu and everything. But he was in car sales. He started with 10 grand or 50 grand and turned it into damn near $1 million in a year. And that's just from locking in the profits and not caring what happens after, not caring if you didn't exit at the exact right time, just taking the money. And so sometimes I feel like, some of my, um, if someone, let's say, was raised in the hood and they have that money hungry where it's like if there's $5 on the table or it's $1,000 on the table, they're going to take it because they know the real value of a dollar. I feel like I have this immunity. I've always had this detachment from the value of money, which has been good and bad. You know what I'm saying? Like it depends on how you manage it. That's why I do the piggy bank method, where some people, if they risk X amount of dollars, they would be going crazy. Where, for me, it's like, it's not that big of a deal, but it can totally hurt you. So I have a lot of respect for guys and gals that take the money off the table. Take it off the
Hmm.
table no matter what it is.
It's not real until you realize it, man. I tell people
Yep.
this all the time. Is it Crypto Crank on YouTube? Is this him?
Yeah, Crypto Crank. Yeah, he's on
Okay,
Twitter
I'm
too.
gonna give this guy a follow here.
Yeah, he's a good dude. He's a good dude, and I met up with him in Las Vegas. He's got a family. His wife also does like makeup, social media too. Totally good dude. Got 3 kids, 3 sons, or something like that. And yeah, lock it in. That's his thing. He goes, lock it in, lock it in. So shout out Crank.
Yeah, I always tell people it's not real until you realize it. It's numbers on a screen. It's completely made up, and it's not what you make in the trade. It's what you walk away with at the end of the day. And I think people get very emotionally attached to an unrealized amount of P&L, and it really fucks them up. I think another thing that
Yeah.
you mentioned too is it's about that risk management piece. It's making sure that you're not risking more than you're willing to lose.
Yeah.
Martin Shkreli, when he was
My
interviewed by
guy. That's my
TPBN,
guy.
I love Shkreli, was interviewed by TPBN, post Leopold thing. He says the average trader probably is risking 2 to 10x more than they should. Like their position size is 2 to 10x bigger than it probably should be. And you never realize it until you're done, until you
No.
blow up. And he says if you run someone with an edge through like a Kelly Criterion simulator, even if your edge is 60-40, meaning you
Right.
win 60% of your trades, which is really good.
Yeah.
If you oversize, you always end up at zero. You're eventually going to
Always.
blow up because, yeah, it might work for a while. It might work for years, but then you're going to go on a losing streak. And because you oversize, it's going to annihilate you. And I think most people have no concept of how to actually properly size their trades, or understand the emotional side of it, which you mentioned, which is like you're in a trade, you don't care if you lose because you're like, this is money that doesn't exist. Like that's how I think of it. I'm sending
Yeah.
this 10K out and it's either coming back as 30 or it's zero. Like I
Yeah.
don't care. And I think a lot of
Yeah.
people, they put that trade on, and the moment they're down 5K, they start getting the sweaty palms.
Yep.
Oh shit. It's getting,
Yep.
I don't want to actually lose this 10K. And then you end up closing, and then it bounces and goes to your take profit, and you want to kill yourself
Man,
in
that's why
GTA, in Minecraft.
two things that I think would help, at least would, help me. Number one, actually like trading on breakout, like that sense of calm that you get. I'm not trying to like be like a soulless shill,
Chill
but
it.
that when I trade on breakout, I feel this like, oh man, this is nice. Like I can just set my stop, I can enter the trade. It's gonna happen or it's not because it's affordable. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And that, and then number two is if you like to gamble, go to the casino. I started playing. I used to play poker, but I don't anymore because it's not fun anymore. It's too serious for too small money. But blackjack, look up how to like count cards on blackjack. Go to the casino. It's the same thing with that too. You can have an edge in blackjack, but just because if you start over betting, it'll take you out. It'll take you
Yeah.
out if you don't go through the long term. And so if you want to gamble, go to the casino. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, trading is people are like, oh, it's like it's an educated guess where you can stack the deck in your favor and you can manage your risk accordingly. The best gamblers, the best poker players have unbelievable risk management. It's like they got bankroll management. It works the same. They know what hands they can press on, what hands they need to pull back on, how many big blinds they have left. They know everyone else's chip count. Like that is the game. And if you're not taking trading to that serious level, you are just straight up gambling, and you might as
Yeah.
well just go to the casino.
And you
Because
definitely need to
yeah,
get out of the house. You can't be a total caveman incel. And I'm not many people are more of a caveman than me. I love my cave and not going outside into the world. But like you
yes,
can't just be sitting on your phone or sitting on your laptop or your PC doing this trading stuff 24/7. You go crazy. Even social media. Like a couple times a year, bro, I start getting weird because I think everyone is, I'm trying not to like say bad words and stuff, but sometimes I psych myself out on social media
oh
because
yeah,
I'm like,
dude, I do the
I
same thing.
I hate this stuff. Like, why am I even doing this? You know what I'm
Bro, like
saying?
I live in Canada, and sometimes on social media, I feel like tomorrow the thought police are going to show up at my house to arrest me for liking something on Instagram. And then I go out in the real world and I'm like, okay, like it's not perfect, but it's not nearly as bad as the social
Yeah,
media algorithm is just because
yeah,
it,
yeah.
it it is sentient. Like I believe that the social media algorithms are sentient, and they are
Oh yeah.
feeding you exactly what you are feeding them, and it can become this really ugly loop where all of a sudden you got to snap out of it and go like, wait a minute, like life's not so bad, people are people, stuff's gonna happen, and a lot of this shit's out of our control anyways. You know what I mean?
I call it the machine spirit, bro. The machine spirit.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's you can think about it. You can think it. It's not just listed. You think it, and it's there. But yeah,
Yeah.
man, there's always fires everywhere. But yeah, it's like, what can you do? All you can do is just, there's more opportunity now. I think trading is easily, it's more easily accessible than it's ever been before. Like if you're this valet driver at a restaurant I always go to, um, he's been stacking up his money. He hit the oil trade this year, earlier in the year. He stacked it up, saved it, boom, and whacked a good one, and he made a good lump sum. So like, it's out there. The American dream might be kind of dead, where you can't just have like a shitty job and you have two cars, three kids, a wife, and two hobbies, and you can make it. That's not like that anymore. I say you have to save up a little bag and take a swing with it. Save up a little bit and take a swing. And man, what better than a good long-term option play or some crypto bottom and
No, dude,
MM
it's
crypto trade? Like the opportunities are there. There's no excuse. There's no excuse for someone to really be broke unless you have no jobs anywhere, then move. There's people who walked years in the desert across the world to move. Like there's no excuse to pity yourself and not make it. You can try and try and try and fail,
S-
but eventually you're going to get something right if you just put your mind to it.
So I think it's like a very interesting idea because on the one hand, like the American dream used to be like on a regular job salary, you could have wife, couple kids, house, white picket fence, retire at a reasonable age. And there was what they call economic mobility, right? Where you could move up social classes. You could be poor growing up,
Right.
but if you worked hard and did the right things, you could become middle class or rich. And a lot of people think that that's dead, like you said. And in many ways, it is, thanks to just like the
Yeah.
cost of living and inflation. Like
Right.
our generation is the first generation that are worse off than our parents. Like our parents, all they had to do was buy a fucking house and
Yep.
they basically are millionaires. Like if you bought a
Yep.
house 30 years ago, very hard to not have at least a retirement nest egg by the time you're in your 50s and 60s because that house is tripled, quadrupled, even more in value.
Oh,
So there is this kind of doomer perspective being like, it's fucking over, dude. Like I wanted to be a teacher and I'm not going to make any money now and I can't survive. However, to your point, it's also never been easier to have access to opportunities to make money because of the financial markets that are now readily available to everyone. We all get the same information. If you have a cell phone, you have access to it. If you got any sort of job and you can save up some money, you're allowed to participate in this new financial revolution, use things like AI, make money online. You don't have to live in the place anymore. You can live anywhere and you can participate in this game. And it's up to you to fucking pull yourself up by the bootstraps and be like, okay, like try and um I'm gonna try and turn a little bit of money into a lot of money and take some risk, right? Like I'm not saying you should be taking your money that you need for food and rent and stuff and gamble it. That's absolutely not what I'm saying. But I
right.
think the ways that people like the old ways of getting ahead don't work anymore. You
For
can't
sure.
just put $100 of your paycheck every month into the S&P 500 and retire in 25 years. It doesn't work anymore.
And a
So,
guy with a hammer, you could a guy used to be able to like not be all there, but he was able to take a hammer and hit a nail all day. And that guy was able to have pretty much everything that guy wanted, a couple nice cars and everything. That you know what else? Yeah, who else I feel empathy for is if you have a criminal record or if you are a felon. Obviously, there's levels to it, but man, if you are a felon out here in the states, you are
can't get a job.
you are screwed. You're screwed. There's nothing you can do. It's like, man, it's bad, bad.
There's a guy who would DM me forever and he would always ask me about charts. And whenever I had the time, I would answer him. And then one day he like let it drop that he's like, oh, I'm getting out soon. I'm like, of where? He's like, of jail. Like he was in jail learning to trade. And now
Oh
he's
yeah.
out of jail. I mean, like it's kind of like I feel bad because he tried to buy a breakout account and like unfortunately
Oh,
he didn't pass like the KYC because he was in jail.
oh,
But he was learning to trade and he started making money trading with the skill he learned in jail. And again, it's like it's democratized the ability, like trading. You used to not be able to trade without like a stockbroker way back in the
that's
day. You
right.
needed a guy that you had to call who could execute the trade from you. Now you can do it from your phone. Um, but yeah, I think it's a bit of a double-edged sword, right? Like, yes, the traditional way of, having a comfy life is over, but there has never been an easier time now with the internet, with AI, and with where financial markets are to get yourself out of a bad financial situation. I'm not saying to gamble to do it, but you have the same information that I have, that CryptoFace has, that a lot of these guys with hundreds of millions of dollars has. Heck, you could be on Twitter for free and you can tweet at people who run multi-billion-dollar companies and they might answer you. You know what I mean? We got the
Yep.
richest guy on the planet on Twitter tweeting all day.
Yep.
So like there's just like so much information. And at the end of the day, though, it's up to you. You can't, like you said, you can't feel sorry for yourself. You can't pity yourself. You got to fucking
Or else
do
you'll
it. You got to
never
make it
get it.
happen.
You'll never get it. That's the first thing. That's one thing that I am lucky to be born with is I never blamed anyone for any situation. even if I was at a friend's house and the place got robbed or something, like I'm just saying that as a stupid example, but if you got in a business partnership and it didn't work out, like, oh, that person is the reason why I got screwed over. No, it's your fault. It's your fault. You chose
Yeah,
to
the
be there.
victim
You chose to
mentality
be in
I
that
hate.
situation. You accountability, I feel like is so important. And if someone's having a rough time or they haven't made it yet, but they're accountable and like, man, this is, I'm here because of me and the mistakes that I've made. I would say that person still's got a shot if if they got a pulse.
No, I totally I can't stand the victim mentality people. It drives me nuts. Everything in your life is your fault, one way or another. Some things are absolutely out of your control, but at the end of the day, you can always track anything that's happened to you basically back to a decision that you have made, right? Like at some point, like, well, this happened. It's like, okay, but you did this that got you into that position in the first place. And it's not a bad thing. But it
What are you
is
charting right there? I know we went off
we're
track. We
looking
we
at
got all
gold. A couple
serious.
people
I'm
wanted me to
shedding
check out.
manly tears over here. What are you looking at right there?
I'm looking at gold, bro. I think gold looks kind of good. No,
Oh, yes, 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 yes.
like
Gold
this
looks
to
very
me
good.
is like a pretty. I thought maybe we were gonna get one leg lower. I was really hoping we were gonna see like kind of mid to low 3,000s on gold here.
Oh, oh no.
Coupled with the dollar kind of rallying a bit more, but these types of setups I really like. Like once you kind of get that trend line breakout, you can basically just long it and put your stop below there and just say, okay, like I'm going to assume this thing's bullish now.
Yeah. Gold is my most recent solid hit. I bought a bunch of call options on gold at different time frames stretched out. And do you have my screen pulled up or is it just yours
Let
right
me
now?
pull yours up now. Yeah, we're on
Okay,
you.
and then we can switch back to yours, you know what I'm saying? But like right here, this is on the 12-hour with gold. This is, if you know anything about market cipher, we call it basic strategy. This is prime basic strategy. Money flow coming in, beautiful curvature, nice tight anchor waves, higher lows. RSIs look beautiful. And so now that it's pumped, it's like, okay, momentum might be curving over a little bit. And so my guess is like that we maybe pull back a little bit for
Yeah,
a
higher
few
low.
days to a week or two, you know what I'm saying? And then come on, baby, giddy up on. Gold takes its time. And so I'm hammering gold. I'm hammering gold right now. I'm probably more excited about that than anything else right now. So yeah, I'm holding these damn calls. I'm holding these.
Yeah, I think gold looks really good. I'm actually quite bullish on gold here.
Yeah.
Are you a like a user or a believer in the law of attraction? Is that something that I know you like to deal in the woo woo a little bit.
Law of attraction. Yeah, I mean, yeah, dude. Yeah, I mean, if someone with a, yeah, how could you not be? How could you not be? Why?
Well, I'm big on it, and I think I always try and relate it to trading for people because like, a lot of people
Yeah.
think of the law of attraction, they just think it's like life stuff,
Oh
right?
man.
But it manifests in your trading too. Like if you go into a trade being like this fucking trade sucks, I hate this trade, I'm going to lose money. I feel like that's what happens. Like,
Big time. Big time. That in the gym. If you be going to the gym and then you get into a lazy mode, your trading goes down. Yeah, if you're negative Nancy, boy, you have no shot. But yeah, if you're I mean, if you're just overall healthy, man, a healthy lifestyle is a wealthy lifestyle.
yeah,
Yeah,
I just like I
nothing
always give
fancy.
people this story. Like if you remember back when you were maybe in like college and you'd be going out with your buddies and there's just those nights where you like didn't want to go. They're
Yeah.
like, we're going out drinking tonight, and you end up going, but the entire night at the pregame, you're like, I don't want to do this. This is gonna suck. And then what happens? You have a shitty night. Like, you drink, you get sick, whatever. You just don't end up having a good time. And then there's those other nights where you're like, tonight's gonna be the greatest night ever. And it might be the exact same bar with the exact same people that you went out with the prior weekend, but your mindset was different and it changed everything. And I truly believe that's how trading works too. Like, obviously, there's certain things in trading that you got to do. You can't just be like, I'm going to make
Yeah.
money and you'll make money. But if you have a positive mindset, you feel good, you're healthy, you're doing all the things you got to do, you're going to make better decisions in your trading and you're going to have better outcomes. And I believe the law of attraction is part of that. No different than when, like, I'm looking at a trade and I'm like, I fucking hate this thing. This is stupid. And then I do it anyways. And then I get smacked in the mouth. It's like not surprising.
Yeah. Yeah, totally. That and even I do like some woo-woo stuff, like grounding, even when you just walk outside and put your feet in the dirt.
Yeah.
Um, Dude, I
Grounding.
just bought
Yeah.
a grounding sheets for my bed. Have you done that? Have you got the grounding sheets for your mattress?
I haven't done it for the bed. I do in the morning. Every morning I go feet on the grass and like
Yeah.
sunlight directly on the eyes. And I try and stay out there for like, 10,
Butt
15
naked,
minutes in the
right? You go
morning.
out there butt naked and
Well,
just
of course, you got to let the boys get a little bit of airtime. You know what I mean?
you
I
gotta
got
get
no
all in too. You
neighbors.
gotta turn around and touch your toes. You know
Yeah,
what
you
I'm
gotta
saying? You gotta
sun
get
the.
every angle. Can't
Okay,
hurt,
this
you
is
know?
this is the kind of talk that we're gonna have if Bitcoin goes back below 60K. By the way, a lot more gay stuff is gonna be talked about on the stream. Yeah, shout out
I'm gonna
Jason
be
Casper. We like Jason Casper. I like his
Oh, yeah,
streams.
that's another one.
He's a
I
good
do
guy.
gotta say that I have, in my opinion, the baddest crew of traders in Market Cipher that do this, that live stream trade daily. Jason Casper is one of them. Alexo Crypto, Trader Geo, Evan Aldo. God, probably missed a couple too, and I'm sorry if I missed a couple guys. But man, these guys, they do it every single day in the morning. I don't do it every day anymore. I mean, I come in and I come and go now, but so much respect for those guys. Shout out to the Market Cipher guys and other people. Crypto Lifer's another one. He doesn't use Market Cipher, but he's there every day. These guys are out there trading every day, and they're doing the right thing and they're profitable, man. And that's tough to do, even tougher to
You
do
can't fake
live.
it. You
And
can't
so,
fake it live.
yep,
So bro, I don't want to keep you too long. I want to end
yep.
the chat with how I end it with everyone I talk to. Um, some final thoughts on the market for the short and medium term, but ultimately, I think you've said you think the bottom's in or pretty dang close. Um, All-time high prediction for the next cycle. How high is it? Do you give us a number, give us a range? And then anything that you're looking at, like I know you said you like obviously you like Hyperliquid a little bit, but can you give us some insight into some of those other altcoins that might be in that 100K account of yours?
Man, Tron TRX is always a good one, especially with the more people kind of coming in, more entities coming into crypto. It's
It's
if
the
if a
ultimate
white
up
guy
only
was running
chart.
Tron, I think. Can you hear me?
Yeah,
Can
it's
you hear
the
me?
ultimate up only chart. It's crazy.
Yeah, big time. I think just diversifying and picking a small but good list and just diversifying responsibly, and I think you'll be okay. Um, yeah, I think we're close to a bottom or, bottom. It's dog days of summer. Um, I don't know, man, not much, man, but I enjoyed being here. Thanks for having me on. I appreciate it. And you're a good dude and you're a real guy. I've met you in real life. You're always very kind and you have respect and you have respect of your peers, man. So I appreciate it. Appreciate you having me, dog.
Thank you, bro. I appreciate that as well. Thanks for making the time. All right, guys, shout out CryptoFace. Make sure you're following him on YouTube, Twitter, everywhere else. Appreciate you, dog, man. We'll talk soon, G.
All right. Thank you, bro. I'm going to sign out here.
Yeah, later. All right, guys. I hope you enjoyed that. CryptoFace, a good friend of mine. Had a really good time doing that stream there with him. I'm going to continue a little bit longer. I got another half an hour or so we can talk a little bit more about the markets. If you guys want to hang out, I'll go through a couple charts. We'll go through a couple news items. So we're going to get into that now, but I hope you guys enjoyed that. Yeah, shout out to Nick Cypher. It was good meeting you in the Bahamas, bro. So let me just get my screen up here and let me just extendo Nintendo. And I'm just going to move this over like that. Move this over here. Move this over here. All right. Cool. So yeah, let's go over a couple of charts. Let's go over a couple of few things on our own here, guys. So I know I had some chart requests. So Eth Classic was one of them. To me, this is like, why would anyone want to trade this coin? But it's into demand here. And we've kind of got a little bit of an over-under potential on like the lower time frames here. Like you go down to like the daily, the 12-hour. This is kind of the AMD type of trade, right? So accumulation, manipulation, and then you want to see distribution. So what's confirmation of the AMD cycle? Anyone watching the whiteboard series? If we can get displacement back within the A range, right? If we can get displacement back up into here, that would be confirmation of this being an AMD type of play. So it's at, 3-month demand here. It's a 3-month order block. If we're able to get some support here, I think that this could potentially be something that goes up a little bit. But overall, I think Eth Classic's a garbage coin, and I wouldn't touch it with a 10-foot pole. Someone asked about gold. I think gold looks good here. I agree with CryptoFace. I think, nice big trend line breakout here. Any sort of pullback on this thing, I think you want to long it. Your invalidation is right below this consolidation. So whether or not you want to just long this thing right now, stop down here, right? Target up here, or you want to see if it pulls back a little and get a slightly better reward to risk. I think either of those situations work. You arguably could probably have your stop down there, but I like you here. A little bit more comfort, a little bit more loose. But this is kind of what I'm looking at on gold. If we get a little bit of a pullback, I'll probably take the long myself. BNB real quick here. I think, interesting spot here. A lot of stuff is at high time frame demand, right? Like we're talking about Bitcoin being either at a bottom or close to. A lot of these altcoins are down a lot, and they're at key areas of support, right? We've talked about this. So many of these altcoins, right, are back at like the initial demand before they had their big rip, right? So we've done the full cycle. So absolutely, there's a lot of coins that are at very interesting areas, and it's absolutely time to pay attention and look for potential setups. It doesn't mean that they can't drop another 30% if Bitcoin wants to go down more, but they're all retesting kind of key consolidation areas, and it's worth paying attention to. So BNB, this is major demand here. That's what jumps out at me right away. And again, similar to Eth Classic, you could argue this is AMD, right? Accumulation, manipulation, distribution, right? AMD. So I think based on that, right, if we're able to get back into, I don't know, maybe like above this, right? Above this little zone here, I think you might get some sort of distribution like there. Cashcat. I think I need to... So what happened with Cashcat, guys? So my understanding, and correct me if I'm wrong, because I am retarded, they added Cashcat to Robinhood officially. So Cashcat is now officially on Robinhood. I will say we had this fair value gap drawn out on Cashcat. I know it's huge, but it ended up being where it bottomed. So they added Cashcat on Robinhood. I think that's a good thing. I think a bunch of people front ran this listing because it seems to me like they were soft shilling this. Like I think you had the CFO of Robinhood talk about or have it in his bio. They leaked a search ticker on an earnings call. Crypto Ethan, shout out to him on Twitter. He identified like a wallet that was holding Cashcat or like loading up on Cashcat, potentially, telegraphing that a listing was coming. So there's a good chance that a bunch of people are taking profit on this. going into that listing, right? I'm not surprised at that at all. The question is, what happens now? I think this is like the marquee meme coin for the Robinhood chain. I imagine there will be like some sort of dog meme coin as well. Dog meme coins generally do very well. But does this have staying power? Like, is Robinhood serious about its chain being a place where meme coins can exist? I actually made a FOMO account because I want to start fucking around with some of this stuff. Because FOMO, for me as a retard, I can long anything on any chain without having to bridge. One of the things that kept me away from meme coins, other than the obvious stuff, was like, I was too lazy to be like, oh, I got to bridge to Robinhood chain to long this, and then I got to sell here, and I got to bridge to Solana to then do this, or bridge over to base. So on FOMO, you can just do it on anything. So I'm going to put a little money on FOMO and fuck around. Full disclosure, I'll probably make a new FOMO because I made one and it was tied to my Twitter and a bunch of people followed it already. And I'm really shitty at meme coins. I don't want people to just like tail me and lose their ass. So I'll probably make a new account that's not public. But I'm going to start fucking around with this stuff because like clearly there's some volume coming back on chain. And who knows, man, maybe I can redeem myself for fucking peanut. But I am by no means a meme coin expert. So looking at this, to me, what I see here happening right now is, okay, we had this listings pump. Now you want to see us hold this kind of retest, right? Like if this thing's legit and this thing's going to go, eventually we should come and fill this wick. So obviously, I think you had a lot of profit taking going on into this wick. Any sort of pullback here, I think you eventually want to see that get bought back up. You don't want to see us trading back below this consolidation. You want to see a new floor and higher low get formed somewhere around here. Just rewind the stream if you want to see CryptoFace, bro. Okay, what do we have? We had Cashcat and then we had Fartcoin. Oh no. Let's see. I hate this fucking wick, dude. It drives me nuts. Yeah, I mean, whenever I looked at this last time, and to be completely fair, I don't remember when that was. I drew out kind of these, aggressive sell-off, less aggressive, sideways. It was range bound and it just broke lower. So I think that's kind of where I'd be at with this thing, right? Is I'd be looking for this to be forming some sort of a bottom, right? Accumulation, manipulation, distribution, and confirmation of that is going to be some sort of reclaim, like maybe of this. Get above here. All of a sudden, I think it looks quite interesting for a move higher. Aramco. Did I spell that wrong? I mean, this is like... How was my date night? My date night was really good. Thanks for asking. I was out boating yesterday and I learned how to wake surf, which is really fun. So I'm looking forward to do some more of that. I don't know. I don't love this wick here, dude. But like, other than that, I mean, we're in an uptrend here, right? Very clearly out of the lows. So I think like that's kind of what I would just assume is going to continue. Like you want to see this hold, right? Sweep, break up, new high, retest. Yeah, like I think you just want to see this make a fresh high here and kind of eliminate that wick that we see on the monthly that's kind of sketchy looking. You know, and see this trend continue because it's been pretty, right? Pretty like low, high, higher, low, higher, high. Yeah, I'd want to see it hold around here. Like Nasdaq, I think, you know, like I said last stream, like the long, it was there, right? Once you got the close. Like I think that's the trade. You can ultimately wait for it to break above all-time high too. If you would rather wait for it to break above all-time high and then you're taking a trade similar to this. But I'm going to assume that the indices, the Dow, the Nasdaq, the Russell, I'm going to assume all of this stuff continues higher. Ondo. Yeah, I mean, this is from last stream, right? We want to see this be a higher low. Got a bit of a breakout, but it's fading a little bit. Like, I just want to kind of see this continue. I want to see this go up, right? Maybe it retests here, but ideally this higher low that we just formed holds and we continue higher. But Bitcoin's pulling back a little bit, along with stocks pulling back a little bit. We just want to see everything continue to leg up. Do I use wicks to identify higher highs and lower lows or bodies? A higher high can be bearish if it's an SFP with a really long wick, right? So wouldn't that cancel out the bull structure? I use candle wicks and then closes above or below, those wick highs and lows to determine whether or not it's a market structure break. You know where you can actually learn how to do it? In this video where I say how to trade market structure like a pro. It's literally the second episode of the whiteboard series. I explain exactly what I do. So please go watch the whiteboard series, guys. I'm working really hard on this. Continue to release more and more videos. This is the most organized and most amount of effort I've ever put into my YouTube channel. So check these videos out. I think they're really good. Also, make sure you're following the Order Book Show on Twitter. Make sure you're following the Order Book Show over on Instagram. I'd love to get this to a few thousand followers as well. And then, yeah, make sure you're watching the Order Book or the Whiteboard series on YouTube. It's really good. Any questions you have about how I mark up the charts, I literally talk about it all here. All of it's in here. Right? And I like real chart examples, everything. Also, guys, we now have 4 TradFi markets on Breakout, okay? 4 different TradFi markets on Breakout. We added NQ, we've added Nasdaq, we've added silver, and now we've added oil. So people have been asking, and we've been fucking delivering, guys. 4 of these have been added in less than a month. So if you want to start trading this stuff, $1 million notional on NASDAQ and the S&P, you can trade oil, you can trade silver, same account that you trade your crypto. You don't got to do anything new. And if you use code Mayne, you'll get a discount at checkout. So the team has been fucking shipping. And I think it's only the beginning. We've got more stuff coming. I know a lot of you guys want gold. We're going to get to gold. It's on the roadmap. Huge unlocks occurring for SpaceX. Like massive unlocks occurring for SpaceX here. So I think it's very interesting to see what's going to happen to the price now, because there's more shares unlocked now than were unlocked at IPO. The amount unlocking is roughly 1.4 times the entire float. It's already down 52% from its all-time high with just 4.9% float. So I do think SpaceX is going to start being something that you can actually start paying a little bit more attention to, right? So we had the big aggressive downtrend. Now we've had a little bit of a breakout, bit of a pump, bit of a pullback. I'm very interested to see how this trades in the coming days and weeks, because this unlock is huge. We're going to continue to see more unlocks. I think it's now as interesting of a time as it's been. I said very clearly once we had this pullback, I'm not really interested in looking at SpaceX for a while. I do think now is a good time to pay attention again. Start seeing if this thing might actually have the ability to reverse, or if it's going to have one more leg lower first, and there's just going to be aggressive selling of these unlocked shares. So very interesting to see. But here's who owns the SpaceX shares that are unlocking and who's most likely to sell and the impact on the price. So former employees, 150 to 250 million shares. They are the most likely to sell. Many have already left the company. They want the cash. They have no emotional attachment. Rank and file current employees, 250 to 350 million shares, high chance of selling, big paper gains, and most of their net worth is in SpaceX. Many will sell 20 to 50% for houses, taxes, and diversification. Early and long tenured employees, 80 to 130 million, medium to high likelihood to sell. Some of these people are sitting on 50 to 1,000x gains. They'll take some big chips off the table. Some will keep holding as true believers. Core early investors, 150 to 220 million. Later pre-IPO investors, less likely to sell. This is like me. I'm a late pre-IPO investor. I'm up, I think, 2 to 3x on mine. So I think a lot of people who are up a ton, like there are a lot of people who are up a ton here that are making up a significant portion, 2/3 of this share unlock. So we could see them continue to sell, and then maybe when they're out, I don't know. We'll see if that's enough for price to bounce. Kospi, surprise to no one, has halted again. This is like, I don't know, the 10th time that this thing is halted. Samsung's down. SK Hynix is down. 186 billion wiped out. You'd think after what just happened, to Micron, to NQ, to all this other stuff, that the Koreans would take a chill pill. But the moment that price bounced a little bit, it seems like they just crammed back on with the leverage, and lo and behold, this thing might even just be putting in a lower high. And I've talked about this for a lot of this memory stuff. Like the question is this the bottom, or has things structurally changed here, and a lot of this stuff is going to continue to lower? So the Koreans have learned absolutely nothing, and are absolutely right back in to with the leverage, longing this AI stuff, thinking that maybe this bounce was more than it might have been. I don't know. So SanDisk had earnings, as we can see here. Earnings were a beat. Okay, SanDisk is down huge, and they're making money. They're making more money than expected. Revenue is up 61% to 3.03 billion. Net income is 800 million. Strong growth in all end markets. So everything you'd want to see from a financial perspective is occurring for SanDisk. They massive beat on earnings, but is the stock going to go up? Even though big beat on earnings for Western Digital as well, the entire sector is down, right? SanDisk down 7%, right? SK Hynix, Samsung, a lot of these AI names are actually down. Micron. So I don't know, man. The stock market is going to stock market, right? We talked about this a bunch, but it doesn't matter necessarily if the underlying financials are really, really good. The stock is still going to go up and down. So we've been tracking this for a little while now here, right? A rate hike, no change, and a rate increase are about equal odds right now over here on Polymarket. Whereas on the actual Fed Watch site, right now it's slightly over 50% for a rate hike. So the current target rate is 350 to 375. Over 54%. This is up a little bit from when we were streaming last time. When we streamed last week, it was more like 45%. So right now, remember, above 60% almost always happens. People are pricing in a rate hike, and there is some delta here, on the Polymarket odds, right? So I think one of the main ways that traders are using Polymarket is for this kind of positioning data. It's another data point where you can kind of get market consensus on whether or not something like a rate decision is going to occur, either for a hike, a cut, or stay the same. The Fed Watch itself was pricing in no change at about 65% the day before the actual FOMC meeting. Polymarket was over 70% that there was going to be no change. So there's actual, I think, useful alpha looking at Polymarket for markets like this specifically, where there's a ton of volume. And oftentimes what's been consensus on Polymarket for things like rate decisions have been what's actually played out. And there's been, honestly, more often than not, even more consensus on Polymarket than on things like the actual, Fed Watch tool, which is pretty crazy. So I'm in the camp of increase right now. I haven't made a bet yet. I want to see if these odds get a little better. Keep in mind, we're still about 40 days away from this happening, but I'm going to be betting on an increase. I really like the idea of a symmetry between having a rate cut occur going into the general election and now a rate hike going into the midterms. So if you want to speculate on this stuff as well, guys, if you want to use Polymarket, use my code. I also have a Polymarket US code. It's Mayne. Just check it out. It's below the description of this video. But back from the dead, back from his wedding, I should say, Leopold Aschenbrenner returns with a $400 million bet on a private company. This time he went private because Ken Griffin can't get you in the private markets. At least I don't think he can. But I honestly think that this is what he's better at. I believe like the $10 billion, or the vast majority of the $10 billion that he still has within the fund is within their private holdings of Anthropic. So I think, he kind of got burnt playing with leverage and just playing in the TradFi fund world in general. I think he might be better at being a VC and being on the trends early, but not having the same risks and require the same amount of risk management that you need to run a liquid fund. But he's back, man. He got married, consummated the marriage, or at least watched Ken Griffin consummate the marriage with his wife, because, who's his daddy now at this point? And he's back with a $400 million bet on a private company. So wasting no time. Leopold Aschenbrenner's fund invests $400 million into, does it tell us the name of the company here? No. Does not tell us the name of the company. But it comes after a sharp drop in the leveraged tech infrastructure holdings that led to Citadel bailout, slashing assets from $45 billion to $10 billion. He assured investors the fund endured, plans to stick with private deals over public stocks, sounds smart, and most clients remain on board. I think that that's a much better place for him. But again, he's young. I think he'll be back. Michael Burry warns of a possible 1987-style stock market crash. Michael Burry has been saying that the stock market is going to crash, I think, for the entire time that I've been on Twitter. He has correctly predicted 27 of the last 3 recessions. Like, I am in kind of the same camp as Michael Burry, honestly, that I do think we're due for some sort of correction in the indices. A lot of the underlying stuff has, repriced lower. We have not seen that repricing on the indices themselves yet. They're making new highs. It looks like we're in for one more high. But Michael Burry was screaming that this thing's over this entire time. And lo and behold, new highs. He was doing the same thing here. He's been doing the same thing forever, it seems like. And he'll eventually be right. But at this point, it's like, the boy who cried wolf. How many times can you call for a crash? And then when it actually happens, does it even matter? Because you were sidelined for the entire move. And let's also not forget that Michael Burry is the largest paid group owner on the planet with 300,000 people paying for his Substack. So he's keeping his shorts on Sox, Micron, Nvidia, Caterpillar, Palantir, Tesla, and Applied Materials. This comes as the S&P just jumped almost 2% to a record close after strong earnings. Burry noting low volatility might hide leverage risks. So something to watch. Big surprise to no one. Michael Burry is bearish yet again. I continue to believe it's possible we're near a major top and a possible 1987 type of fall, but the new S&P 500 new highs likely bring in new money into the market. I continue to maintain my SOX position and short positions in equities. Remember, the market going up on falling volatility forces vol targeting funds to leverage up and bring leverage from other momentum strategies in play. Still below the Goldman Sachs momentum pair, remains damaged after a historic run, and the VIX remains at 12-year series low. Something to watch for sure. This guy, who's kind of just a sensationalist at this point. Microsoft invests billions into OpenAI. OpenAI spends that money on Azure. Microsoft books it as AI revenue. I talked about this a while ago. You have this kind of like nexus of like Microsoft, Nvidia, Google, right? And then out of this nexus, you have like Anthropic, you have OpenAI, you have, whatever else. And then you have outside of outgrowths of these, you have, like even smaller bubbles of, the Microns, the SanDisks, and all of this stuff. It's like incestuous. They're all investing in each other and then like giving money back and like double. It's like they're double dipping the accounting and the revenue, because like I invest in you, and then that money I invested in you use to buy stuff from us. Nvidia is going to invest in Marvell, and then Marvell's going to buy a bunch of shit back from Nvidia. I don't know, man. It just seems like a Ponzi, but obviously the demand is real. The revenues are real, seemingly, right? The earnings are real, seemingly. The contracts are real, seemingly. But it just seems very incestuous. Like, it's just like, okay, I'm borrowing money from you. You give them, like, here's $1. I'm going to give that dollar to you. And then you're going to take that dollar and you're going to invest that dollar into me. And then I'm going to take that dollar you invested. I'm going to lend it out to this guy over here. He's going to take that dollar and invest it into you. And it's like, okay, well, we have, $3. It's like, well, isn't it just the same $1 that's just been, hot potatoed around between all these different people? I don't know. I guess we'll find out soon. Maybe Michael Burry's right. The more I talk about it, the more fucked it all does sound. But for now, number go up. Okay? Me monkey. Number go up. That's good. Number go up. Me get more banana. More banana make happy monkey. So as long as the number's going up, I'm going to continue to assume it goes up. Once we actually get some sort of structural change, in the market, market structure break, actual signs of weakness in the charts, then I'll start to look for this correction that Michael Burry's been calling for, 10 years. Again, I would not be surprised. I think we talked about this last video, 8,000 on the S&P. I think that's very possible here. This is a 2x, right? Not a lot of volume on this market yet. Something you always got to watch, guys, when you're using Polymarket or any sort of prediction market, you want to check the volume, right? So you can't get $1,000, $10,000 and the returns that you see here. It's all volume dependent. So this 3-to-1 is only available based on, certain sizing. So you always want to check the volume. That's why there's certain markets where you can go really big. So things like, who's going to win the Republican presidential nomination, this has a ton of volume. This is a market that you can go ahead and bet $10,000 on. But certain other markets, the volume's not there, at least not yet. And it changes as the month goes on. More people start to trade. Donald Trump is an option. Oh my gosh, that's so funny. Like, no way Trump's going for a third term, right? Who's American in the chat here? Yeah, I mean, there's no money to be made here, but that's crazy. He can't go for a third term, right? Unless it's like a wartime thing, but I don't think that's going to happen. Hyperliquid trading around 57 bucks, $12.5 billion market cap. And there's some debate as traders lock profits and eye rotations. The trader, the Pumponomics, sold after big gains, holding cash but re-entering, while others highlight a bullish setups from HIP3 growth and open interest and upcoming HIP4 outcome markets. Some rotate into smaller rival lighter due to his valuation gap, spark mixed reaction in the community. So this guy's been a big hyperliquid bull. I gotta give this guy a follow back, but he locked in, took 20 to 70 in the middle of a bear, and he took some profits, and he's holding cash for now. Nothing wrong with a good trade. Like me and CryptoFace were saying, it's not real till you lock it in. It doesn't matter if you bought hyperliquid here, and it's up here now. Until you actually sell and realize the profit, it's meaningless. I still think that this is a great coin. It's going to go up a lot more in the next bull run. I just want to buy it as cheap as I can. And if I can get it sub 40, I'll absolutely ape a bunch. If I can get it even sub 50, I'll ape a bunch. But if I don't get down there, if it doesn't want to come down there, so be it. I'll have to buy it higher. More unlocks coming. 433K tokens from Hyperliquid Labs will be unstaked today and will be distributed to the team members on August 6th. That's today. So are they going to start selling? No signs of that quite yet. So Nikita, I actually think this is quite interesting. So Nikita has been the brunt of many jokes. He's been running product at X, and he's now stepping back, and he's going just to be, a poster again. He no longer is working. A lot of people are dunking on him because essentially, there's an argument to be made that he has SpaceX equity, and maybe he now has some of that equity that he can now sell, and he no longer needs to work there. That joke with people always have with guys who are like working at an altcoin, and as soon as their vesting's done, they quit. Well, maybe that's what's happening with Nikita here. So he stepped down as X's head of product. He's been on for about a year. I think it's been a mixed bag. Some people love him. Some people hate him. He did some really good things for the algo, where I was all of a sudden seeing my friends again, but then that seemed to go away. So I don't really know what happens. He says that he launched 30 products in 400 days. The country of origin labels on profiles, bot defense. I don't notice that one at all. A 70 spot climb in the App Store, and it lands a week after Musk combined SpaceX, X, and XAI's entity and went public. So, listen, I mean, the guy sold a couple apps. He ran product. Now he's back to being a poster. I don't know. How do we feel about the Nikita kind of tenure as head of product at Twitter? Do you think Twitter is better now than it was 400 days ago? Hard to say. I still feel like there's a ton of bots, a ton of AI, and a ton of random crap. I still feel like the algo sucks. And I feel like Nikita hates crypto people, but vesting ended. I'm sure he got his fat bag, and now he can move on. So RIP to Nikita. Last but not least, guys, real quick, just want to remind you, because I got to wrap it up here. I got to feed the dog. You can now live stream and live trade tennis all within the Polymarket app. So Polymarket is continuing to strive to becoming kind of the everything app. They're the official prediction market of the ATP. So now when you're betting on tennis, you can actually watch the game live in the app as well. Pavin, chill the fuck out, bro. BTC, 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 buy or sell. I don't know, bro. Make your own decision. But yeah, so pretty crazy what Polymarket's doing here. Obviously, you're going to be able to, I think this is going to come from more sports as well. You're going to be able to watch more sports within the app, which I think is super cool, while live trading it. And the World Series of Poker just ended. I asked you guys for alpha. I was like, does anyone know who any of these people are? This kid, 22 years old from Spokane, Washington, Lucas Jumelon, was like, I don't think a favorite. I mean, 30%, that's kind of high. Like, who was the highest? Who was the highest odds? I don't actually know. But he ended up winning $10 million. 22 years old. So him and Rasmer, the goats of poker. Pretty fucking cool. But that's all I got, guys. I hope everyone has a fantastic weekend. I hope you enjoyed the stream. I hope you enjoyed the interview with CryptoFace. If there's more people you want me to bring on and jam with, let me know. Make sure you're watching those whiteboard series videos. Nasdaq, S&P, silver, oil, all tradable on Breakout. Use code Mayne for a discount. I'll have some more updates for you guys soon, as always, in Telegram. TraderMayne.com for the free newsletter, Discord, Telegram. It's all free. It's all free. And if you want to support your boy, click the links below. Click on some of those Polymarket links below. It really helps me out. Click them. Go start speculating. Code Mayne if you want to use Polymarket US. I appreciate